Hello students, I'm going to show you today how to set up your document to make your 4 words document. So what you see right now, this is my version of 6 words. The idea with this project is to make your words look like what they say. Okay, I think you get the idea. So this is done using layer effects and brushes and really any kind of things that you want to try in Photoshop. The setup of the document goes like this. If I go to the File menu, make a new document, I'm going to go to the Print, use Letter in this portrait mode. Okay, so that's 8.5 by 11 inches, 300 is the resolution, and that. Okay, I want to make my background color black, and easiest way to get your default colors to black and white is to press D on the keyboard. If I press Option Delete, that's going to fill with my foreground color, like that. If you ever want to swap your colors, foreground to background, press the X key. You'll see they swap whatever they are, foreground and background. Okay. My next step is to make some rectangular selections. So I'm going to use this rectangular marquee tool. I'm going to feather this selection though. So I'm going to put this at 25 pixels up here. Okay. What that means when I make my selection, you'll see it rounds the corners, which is basically indicating that there is a soft edge to this selection. So it's going to fade out 25 pixels towards the edges. When you feather something, the resolution of your document affects how much that feather actually is. Okay, so the higher your resolution, the more you would need to feather. So what I'm going to do, I've got my selection, I'm going to make a new layer and then fill this selection with some kind of bright color. Okay, once again, new layer, selection, color. Easiest way to fill something is Option Delete. Okay, and you'll see if you deselect, Command D, and zoom in, you'll see that this, it fades out, it's blurry toward the edges. So you can copy and paste to get 4 of these, okay, and then if you have auto select on your layer with the Move tool, you can just kind of start spacing these out. Okay, and I just want to have equal distance from the top and bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to select all of my layers. So I select one. I can either hold Command and click on the other ones, or if I have one selected, I can hold Shift, click on the bottom one, it'll get all the ones in between. And here I want to distribute these and put equal space between them. So the ellipse tool, go to the ellipse when you have multiple layers selected. I'm on the Move tool. This ellipse here shows you all of your distribute and align tools. So these are your align tools. The distribute tools aren't showing up here. So this will distribute vertically. Any one of these will do it. All right. Now I want to put these layers, basically combine them into one layer. So Command E or layer merge layers will do it. Command E is the shortcut for that. Okay, and then with the type tool, I'll select my type tool. Notice that my type color right now is going to be that same green. That's my foreground color. It puts that color there. If I want something different, I'm just going to start with white to keep it simple. Okay, and I'm just going to click with my type tool, and I'll type snow. Okay. Now, every time you click with the type tool, if you click away from this, it's going to make a new type layer. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you want to edit the type that you have, you got to get right where the beginning of it is or somewhere in the middle. And you can select individual letters here. You can do things to individual letters. You don't have to be on the type tool to do a lot of this stuff. So if I go to the Move tool, as long as this layer is selected, I can go back to the type tool And now I can change the size without selecting it with the cursor. Okay, the layer selected, I'm on the type tool, so I can change it. I can use this warp text tool. So this is just like envelope distort in Illustrator. And this is an effect. So if I do this and I want to change it, as long as this layer is selected, I can go back here and change it. Okay, I can take it off, etc. I can also go to this little folder button here. This is my character and paragraph palette. So this lets me increase things like the tracking. Some of these are not going to be relevant for one word. So this is called leading. This would be the space between lines of text. And in this case, I've only got one word, so it doesn't really apply. Okay. So what I want to do with these words is make them look like something else. Make them look like snow. How can I make it look snowy? Well, the layers palette has a button at the bottom, this FX button. This is where the magic starts to happen. Okay, so if I click on this, and I'll just choose stroke to begin with. Okay, this opens up the layer style menu. It shows me all the different options, and I can start playing with these. Okay, a lot of times you're going to have to change the settings. For example, this stroke is positioned inside. I'm going to change that to outside. Okay, I'm going to change its color. Now, I could make it a solid color. I can also make it a gradient. Okay, so I can edit the gradient right here. So I want to add white. Yeah, you can double click these and change them. So you can do all the kind of editing in here. All right. You can add multiple effects all at once. So I can do lots of different things. Bevel and emboss is going to make my letters look somewhat 3D. Kind of puts a shadow and a highlight on it. And once again, changing your settings is pretty important. You want to see what it looks like as you're doing it. Don't just click it and turn it on. See how you can make it look how you want it to look. One other thing I'll point out, I'm going to turn that one off. I've added this stroke. If I want to make this its own layer, so rather than it being an effect, I'm going to control click on this word, stroke right here, and choose create layer. Okay. Now I want to do this before I do any other effects, because if you do this, all of the effects that you have on there will become their own layers. Might be okay, might make a mess. Some things don't translate to layers. Some effects don't, become layers that well. But now it's got a stroke that's this separate layer, which means I can put another stroke on the original layer, make it stand out further. So here I'm going to go back to a solid color. I'm going to make it smaller. Kind of like the look of that. Or I might even use that gradient and reverse it. So it's kind of going the opposite. Nah, I don't like that. So this is what I would do. I would play with this. Maybe I'll make this like a kind of bluish, cool, bluish color. Okay. Other effects. There are tons of effects here. Some effects will block other ones out. So satin is a pretty cool effect. It looks, I don't know, kind of looks shiny. But you can change the distance. You can change the color of it. Once again, I might go with something kind of bluish. Cool blue. Or cooler blue. And the size. Whoops. I think my computer just crashed. Oh no, there we are. There. Need to go a little darker so it stands out. A lot of the effects have this contour button. Okay, you can choose different contours, see how they look. A little too busy, normal, okay. Whoa, getting crazy. Now you can also create your own contours. So I'll go back to the regular one. Rather than clicking the arrow here, I can click on this and I can actually make my own contour profile map like that. Okay. So the idea here is to experiment and understand what these effects do. Okay? Check it out, play with it, have fun. Thanks for watching.